Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us. I told you I learned this from Kirk Murphy a couple of years back. Always give the people things when they show up, right? And so you all show up for us so ably every week, or every day rather. Can you see them? I want to make sure they're in the shot. There they are. And because of your kindness towards us here at Freedom March, I keep going out in the public and making sure that the people give me things to give to y'all. And, you know, that's something I steal from Craig Murphy. That's probably going to be the tone of the show for quite some time. Until, you know, even if y'all ain't just showing up to listen to me, at least y'all showing up because y'all know I got things to give away. So there's going to be a packed show today. I've got a special guest. Call all your friends. Tell them to tune into us. We don't care where they tune in, whether it's on 103 or 224 or 112 or ILTV studios on Facebook, or even if they go over to YouTube. Just get near some device and lock into the show early because we want as many of you that are out there to listen to this show today with our special guest. But before my special guest gets on, that's going to be around 4:30. I intend to ramble on and cuss out Alfred Says, and who else I'm going to cuss out? Only Alfred Says today because I can't let it rest, Alfred. I don't know why you need to go all the way to China for the Chinese to tell us that we should nationalize the coconut if I've been screaming it on this show since I reached. And I feel like you didn't need to go there because the only thing the Chinese said different from me was wantong chantong wantong wahachahong. But the both of us said coconut. And just how you could understand it when the Chinese say it, I don't understand. How come you couldn't understand it when I say it? But also, before I get to cussing people out, Bradley Roll is here with me, the spiritual advisor. Spiritual advisor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to be here.
Thank you for coming.
As always. As always. Huh?
How was the outside?
Hot.
Wonderful.
Well, it started off kind of cool, and then as the day progressed.
I was inside the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Wonderful evening yesterday, Bradley. Thank you so much for the invitation that was extended.
Yes,
Right?
we went
Please
to a
send them a shout
wonderful
out.
party.
I want to do that before the break. Just shout them
We
out.
thank you so much.
Shout out to everybody that was
Shout out to all
He-
those who came
Who else
to the
was
party. Well, we'll talk about it on the other side.
You can talk about. You can
Yeah,
call me
but
and
congratulations to Brian
Yeah,
and his
wonderful
beautiful wife, Paulette.
It was 26
26 years
marriage.
of blissful marriage.
Such a wonderful occasion to have had us
And
invited
the
to.
curry mutton was great.
Indeed.
Ah.
Anyway, that's the jingle.
Awesome.
Don't move. We've got show planned. I'm Levan Miller. Bradley Roll is with me. This is Freedom March, and we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. Believe it or not, the spiritual advisor falls apart on the break sometimes. And you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy that he's back with us. Spiritual advisor Bradley Rule is in the studio with me. Holy Scripture, spiritual advisor. You have Holy Scripture for us today?
Trying to get some water.
Yeah.
And
And you just falling right apart.
you have something you could run on for a second? I need to write. I'm so sorry.
Boy.
I made an error here.
This is how you know the show is live, right? You know the show is live because there's just some things that I can't make up or I can't edit. And so the spiritual advisor goes to the break. And I mean, completely falls apart. Notwithstanding that, we're very happy that you've stayed with us. It's so perfect that he's fallen apart because now I get to run on, right? Can we go to I see Michael Pintard has given sage advice to the Prime Minister. And once again, the Prime Minister apparently seems to just keep listening to the Leader of the Opposition. So at least Michael Pintard can say, for the lack of better sayings, that I tell Brave what to do to stay being the Prime Minister. He said, Brave, reduce the VAT on bread basket items. Brave said, no problem. VAT reduce on bread basket items. He said, Brave, reduce the VAT on medication. Brave say, no problem. The VAT reduce on medication. Then he say, Brave, you know what will really impress me? If you so good, you say surplus in the budget, the public servants, what do you say? Show us the clip about what Michael Pintard say. I don't practice listening to them too often. So
this government's definition of progress should concern all of us. They talk about a balanced budget and even a surplus. An announcement that comes as a surprise to all the contractors, nurses, workers, vendors who are still waiting for their payment. When Davis says the government hasn't made any cuts, clearly he has forgotten the people that the government owes. So if there's a surplus, we say to everyone who's owed by this government, all the public servants, all of the vendors, here and abroad, call the government today. They have a surplus. They have more than enough money to pay the bills.
And so you hear the Leader of the Opposition say, the government say they have more than enough money. The government say they have a surplus. If you was anybody who worked for the government, please go now and go get your money because Brave say he got plenty of money and he got surplus, right? And so today, the picture with the Prime Minister on it, today, Brave just simply does what Michael Pintard says. Dun, 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 dun. Isn't it like magic? Public service middle managers to receive salary hike. Guess when? By month's end.
But that doesn't benefit.
What you mean?
It says middle managers.
Yes.
But what about the people on the low end?
So here's who it is. They just get a raise in the minimum wage. So that was the people on the low end.
So minimum wage went from what? From 210 to what? 250? 260?
I think it's 267.13 or something like that. Somebody out there confirmed the number for me. I think it's 26713. I think that's what it is. Right?
So minimum wage is like
$1,000
little over $1,000 a month.
$1,050 something dollars a month. Why do you skin your face like that when you say that?
And so if rent is $800,
they don't live where you live.
where you can pay?
They live in shared housing.
How you can pay like?
They live in shared housing.
Boy, don't say that.
They live in shared housing.
Don't say that.
Some of them sleep on a rotation, like a shift system. They live in shared housing.
And that's how we want our people to live in this country.
I said, you never. Well, Canada have people living in the park. What are you talking about? Canada has a homeless subdivision in the park. Is that correct or incorrect? One thing with this
I'll have to
advisor,
investigate
boy.
that, but all the trips that I made to Canada,
you want us to just Google
I
it?
see where they have really good housing for those who can't afford.
They have a homeless subdivision in the park in Canada.
Okay,
I'll
fact check it.
Yeah. So if you're living in shared housing, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when you go to Westgate, Orlando, you live in shared housing, don't you? That's just fancy shared housing. So why are you acting like it's something different?
Well, let's don't do that.
Don't do what?
I don't know if that's fair, but
oh my goodness.
Anyway, 1,000 and something.
And if 6 of us live in this house, and I just go to work,
and that's how our people should live.
Mister, when you go to Westgate, Orlando, and you have shared housing,
Yeah, but
Okay.
those housing,
But shared housing is exactly
they are
that shared
livable.
housing.
They are what
These
human
people-
beings supposed to live
What are
in.
you talking about? The people them living in the house.
Anyhow,
We actually have words from the Prime Minister talking about this increase in the salary. Let's see what the Prime Minister had to say after he listened to Michael Bintad.
Upcoming fiscal year. We are moving forward, Madam Speaker, with the second phase of our comprehensive public service salary review. The first phase, now complete, focused on middle management and above. Public servants will see increases in their salary or adjustments in their salaries at the end of this month.
One more time.
Middle management, public servants will see increases in their salaries at the end of this month.
Well, if Christ be not
Election-
risen, then
election is-
all we that labor,
election is coming
labor
soon.
in the- If Christ, no, he's just listening to Michael Bintad.
election is coming
And
soon.
you know what's so amazing, right? Now Michael Bintad got to flash up the troll brigade because the troll brigade got to get on it. You remember the last time Brave do exactly what Michael Bintad, right, said and drop back. Remember that? And then put up the thing. I like to make sure I screenshot the trolls, you know. And then the trolls come out on social media and say, oh, he reduced the VAT, but he should have reduced it for Christmas. I like to make sure I screenshot them, you know. My friends say, my good friend has always given me sage advice, right? You know what my good friend say, spiritual advisor? My good friend say, whenever you see a scandal on the internet, whenever you see something on the internet, recording or reading, don't read it first. Screenshot it first, and then hakiki later. Because you have all the time in the world to hakiki once you got the screenshots. And that's right. So I just sit home and I just screenshot their trolls every single time. I can't wait till they post foolishness, right? And so the last time the Prime Minister reduced the VAT, just like the opposition leader said, right? No, I won't read that. Put that back. There the trolls go on inside social media. Would have been nicer for Christmas, but Jesus, we see and thank you for the savings type Easter. Isn't that wonderful? Even the trolls can't find nothing bad to say about the Prime Minister listening to the leader of the opposition. Now you can take that out. I don't get him that much airtime, right? So what are the trolls going to say tomorrow? Because now the Prime Minister, you can take it down, Cap, the producer, the Prime Minister listened to the leader of the opposition who said, if you wait for the government, they say they have a surplus. Go get some money, right? And Brave say, okay, then y'all want the money at the end of the month? No problem. Man, that could be hard to beat, eh? Boy, y'all better come be a FNA. Because that's the only way to stand a chance at taking Brave on. Oh, by the way, while we attended that function last evening, I'm happy to announce that 5 senior women in sound mind have all pledged that they are not just one of the women them spiritual advisor, but that they are active members of the FNA. Isn't God wonderful? Ah, boy. And so, more of Michael. Michael said Grand Bahama's economy needed a boost in the arm, and they needed to make sure that they was doing all the things necessary to keep Grand Bahama, I don't have that clip, up and running, and the government just wasn't doing enough. You remember that one? We got the next one ready, producer? Okay, well, at some point, I'll get to it. Because all the Prime Minister doing is listening to the leader of the opposition and doing exactly what he tell him to do. So, hey, it's just wonderful. And now I go to, you want to read Holy Scripture first, or you want me to say that first?
Let's do
You got yourself together now?
PGF, man. It's amazing. You see, that's anyhow.
I was trying to PGF
It's amazing how, one of the things that I find
I was PGFing.
it's
Hold
becoming
on.
dangerous for us as people.
I was PGFing. Then
You
all
like,
of a sudden,
you all like politics more than you all like God.
but only
That's a serious thing,
you go on the fritter on the side of me. I was waiting on you and God. Next thing I know,
spilled a little bit of water.
next thing I
I'm
know,
only human. But you all like politics more than you like God.
boy.
It's amazing, eh?
Oh boy! But before I go,
You all have not listened to Walter Hanchel. Walter Hanchel says, PGF.
Yeah. Put God first.
Yes.
I was trying to do that, and then next thing you know, you knock over the light and the table and all kinds of
You're
things.
just like political.
Ah, boy.
The average Bahamian is just consumed by politics, man.
Wow. So,
They ain't got no Jesus, man.
what you talking about? All I have is Jesus.
Let's go to the book of Titus, chapter 1. Let's see if we could learn something today from the Red Bible.
Oh, boy.
If you go to a church and they tell you that the overseer is the lead man, and after him comes the bishop, and then the pastor, and then the elder, that's the wrong church, okay? Because the bishop, the overseer, the pastor, and the elder is the same office. It's one the same. It's just various sides, various function of that office. The office of different functions, but it's the same office. If you're an elder, you're an overseer. If you're an overseer, you're a bishop. If you're a bishop, you're a pastor. It's the same office. It just shows you the various functions of that one same office. So here's an example of that. In Titus chapter 1, could you get your red Bible and follow me, please? In Titus chapter 1, 5 through 11, Paul is going to charge Titus to appoint elders. And we're going to see that the word elder and overseer is used interchangeably. So it's the same person. He says the reason why, Titus chapter 1, verses 5 through 11, he says the reason I left you in Crete was that you might put in order what was left unfinished and appoint elders, plural, in every town, singular. You see that? So there's always more than one elder in every location. That you may appoint elders in every town, as I directed you. An elder must be blameless, faithful to his wife, a man whose children believe and are not open to the charge of being wild and disobedient. Go ahead, Wilson. Since an overseer, you see that? You see it switching out? Since an overseer manages God's household, he must be blameless, not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness, not violent, not pursuing dishonest gain. Rather, he must be hospitable, one who loves what is good, who is self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. He must hold firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so that he can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. Go ahead, producer. For there are many rebellious people, full of meaningless talk and deception, especially those of the circumcision group, that's the Jews. They must be silent because they are disrupting whole households by teaching things they ought not to teach, and that for the sake of dishonest gain. There you have it, Titus 1.
No, that sounds like two people in me spiritual. As somebody that writes.
It's the same office.
As somebody that writes, right? Let's go back to Titus 1 and go back
Start
to
with verse number 5.
Yeah, go back to that. As somebody that writes, it just sounds like an and is missing from this translation.
Go back again.
Let's go back some more. So they just miss an and in this translation. Appointing elders who love what is good. The reason I left you in Crete was that you might put in order what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town. So there's more than one elder.
In every town.
So if
on every church.
Now, so let's just say you have the Church of God. You could have 5 churches of God, and each church of God can have an elder in the church.
No, it is plural.
Yeah, each church of God could have elders. Elders of the church.
Yes.
Right? As I directed you, an elder must be blameless. That's an
Right.
elder must be blameless, faithful to his wife, a man whose children believe and are open not to the charge of being not open to the charge of being wild and disobedient. Go on, producer. Go on, producer.
Since an overseer.
Where my producer gone?
Right there.
Let's go to the next one.
Right.
See, I feel like an "an" is missing in
No,
the translation right here.
no,
And
no.
since an
It's the
overseer
same
manages
person.
God's household. No, they don't sound like the same people to me.
So, if it's not the same person, then tomorrow we look at 1 Timothy chapter 3 and we see the same thing.
Let's look at 1 Timothy chapter 3 tomorrow, because this sounds like a
what I'm
different
saying.
person.
It is- it's the same
and
person.
Since the overseer manages
Just
God's household,
he must be blameless.
that's not the elder.
None of it.
Go back to the thing with the elder. Appointing elders who love what is good. The reason I left you in Crete was that you might put in order what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town
Right.
as I directed you. So those
So what's
elders,
the subject here?
So, huh?
The subject here is appointing elders.
Yes, but
Then the elder is the overseer.
but no, the overseer is the senior to the elder.
No, sir, that doesn't say that.
right.
You're injecting something that's not.
No,
see,
I'm not
and that's the
injecting anything.
problem. See, that's the
No,
problem.
and I'm saying to you, as someone that
that
writes,
doesn't say anything but seniority.
as someone, no, it doesn't. But the way the language unfolds, the
There's
language just goes.
Nothing
into
in there is talking about
Bradley
seniority. my brother.
Roll is a bald-headed man on the show.
Nothing in there is
The Freedom
saying
March
anything
show.
about
Hold on,
seniority.
this is a sentence. The Freedom March show has bald-headed men on it. Levin Miller.
Where are you going with this?
Hold
bro?
on. Levin Miller, being the co-host of the show with Bradley Roll, has a perfect head of hair, though. That ain't two people and it ain't the same issue. Anyway, so
Wow.
we will tussle over the
There's
whole
nothing
scripture.
in there but seniority, my brother.
I never said it was seniority.
You
I'm
almost
saying
made it seem as if the
no,
overseer
no.
is saying to the elder. That's what you try to suggest.
circumstantively, yes.
But
Let me
this
tell you why.
passage does not suggest
The
that.
elder, yes, it says it right there. The
No,
elder
there's no
is there.
seniority.
No, you put the elders in the town so that the elders can do things like manage differences between brethren. If your brother be
ain't-
taking them in a fault, you go to your brother. If your brother don't hear you, you take two witnesses. If he don't hear you, you take the elder. If he don't hear you,
This here is giving you the qualifications of the elders.
and I don't disagree.
If you
so
desire
the
this
elder
office,
looks over the people, and the general overseer looks over the assembly.
no, that ain't what this passage is saying. It doesn't say that.
Okay.
We're talking about the same household, which is the church.
No.
Yes.
This thing
Yes,
says
it's
to
the
appoint
church.
the elders in every town. That is for the people. That is so that when there are
Oh,
discords
no.
among the
I,
brethren.
no, you made a mistake. Yeah, I see what happened to you. No. This is talking about the church.
I
this is
make
for
a
the
mistake,
church.
the word town
Yeah,
right there.
so in the town, who are we referring to in the town?
The people that are members
No.
of the church.
We're talking about the church.
Oh, boy.
It's the church.
Oh, boy. You can go
Yeah.
see.
You made a mistake there.
Anyway,
it's the church.
When we get back on the next side of the break, you really stopped me from cursing out Alfred says. At some point in the show, I cursing Alfred says. The commander of the Defense Force, Floyd Moxie, joins me on the next side of the break. Go and tell your friends. In his first interview publicly as commander, he'll be with us right here on Freedom March.
This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
Welcome to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Levin Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 FM The Beat, or on channel 224, on channel 112, or on ILTV Studios. That's on cable, Flow, and on Facebook. Or you may be tuning in to us on YouTube, wherever you are tuning in to us. I don't say that for the people that are already tuning in. I'm saying that so you can get on your phone, call your friend, tell them to turn off whatever that is they're listening to. We've got a really super special interview coming up right now, and they may want to actually hear this. But before we get to the Commander of the Defense Force, please, Bradley, read these ads and advise the people of the
upcoming event. Yeah, okay. So, are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Get them the best at Modernistic. Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands. Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, and Uxuk at the lowest prices in town. If you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it, then shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality. Your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry. Offer won't last. Thank you, Medusa. So we're getting ready for the march on Labor Day. Featured in that march would be those who want to participate in honor of Rodney Munker. So we have some t-shirts here at the studio available for those who want to come and collect them or get them. Who's going to be here with those shirts?
someone from his team.
Okay, so someone from Rodney's team is going to be here. If you want to wear the shirts on the march on Friday. So you can come to the studio. I will double check to make sure that that person is here, but I understand that they're going to be here very shortly with those shirts. So please don't forget.
You're saying it so subtle. We got the t-shirts. They could be downstairs. If you want t-shirts to join the Friends of Rodney Munker on the Labor Day March, come here. T-shirts downstairs. Point to note, don't ask me. You got to come here, because by the time as I get out of here, there will probably be no
person downstairs
t-shirt.
now, right?
Me and you in the same studio, Bradley?
Right, so I wasn't sure, so I'll have to go downstairs and check.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
should be
I'm
here.
not going to keep the commander waiting any longer.
Okay.
Without further ado, I should have on the phone interview line with me Commodore Floyd Moxie, the commander of the Defense Force. Commander, are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. How are you?
I'm fantastically well, sir. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Good afternoon, Bahamas.
Good. Let me firstly start off by publicly congratulating you on your ascension to Commander of the Defense Force. I don't know if I got an opportunity to do it publicly where you could hear it, so there's my congratulations.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Yes, sir. And so I'm very happy that you've made this time for us today, sir. And I just have a set of questions that I trust the Bahamian people would like to hear. And I again, thank you for giving us here at Freedom March your very first, is it, on-air interview.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miller. And let me say at this gesture, let me offer my condolences to the famous Freedom March on the passing of Mr. Rodney Munker and to his family. And to all his followers. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's get started, sir. So can you tell us or share with us, who is Floyd Moxie? Where does Floyd Moxie come from? What was it like growing up as Floyd Moxie in your hometown?
Yeah, Mr. Miller, I grew up in Mangrove, Kiandra. As you know, that is a close-knit community. And I like to refer to it as the gem of Anna. It is basically a fishing community.
Yes, sir.
My father was a seafarer. And in Mangrove Key, I'm a product of the Point Rock All-Aid School, the public school system. And I also had the benefit of attending the local Catholic after-school program and catechism in Mangrove Key for many years before I transitioned to Nassau, where I completed my high school education at the C.C. Sweeten High School.
Okay. All right. So CC seems to have a thing for law enforcement officers, eh? That's you, Dr. King, and I think the former Commissioner of Police, Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, that would seem so. I am a graduate of the CC Sweden High School.
All right.
Proud alumni.
So can you tell us then, Commander, what inspired you to pursue this career in the military, and what are some of the defining moments along the journey to becoming commander of the force?
Well, Mr. Miller, you know, back in the early 1980s, I was at the College of the Bahamas studying electronics and radio communications. And during our graduation year, we had the opportunity to be visited by Acting Sub-Lieutenant Davy Roll.
Okay.
And he went on to be the commander of the Defense Force.
Yes.
And so he came along with one of the British expats who was the commander at the time. He was sharply dressed in his white uniform. And they were recruiting young people with some degree or background in electronics to join the Defense Force. And so the expat was Commander Darby Allen at the time. He indicated to us that Acting Sub-Lieutenant Davy Roll was a young Bahamian who was just back from the Royal Naval Britannia College in London, and he had a bright career in the Defense Force, and that if we join, we can basically follow that same path.
Okay.
So I was on the next bus out.
All right. Well, I guess there's very little to kind of sift through at that time. I suspect you weren't yet a father, and I don't know, possibly not yet a husband at that time, eh?
Oh, no, I was young. Single.
Young hot shot. So now, Commander, that you have assumed the role of Commander of the Defense Force, I mean, what does sitting in the chair, or how does sitting in the chair today versus what you anticipated in the early 1980s when young acting Sub-Lieutenant Davy Roll came and talked to you about the possibilities of the Defense Force? How does sitting in the chair now, how does that translate to you personally? What does it mean to you?
Well, for me, it's been an evolution. I came from a engineering background. I had a good fortune early in my career studying electronics at the U.S. Naval Training Command in Great Lakes. Well, for over a year, and I came back to the Defense Force where I practiced my skills in electronics, radar, communications, and advanced electronics.
That's correct. When I met you, you were the aides to navigations officer.
Yeah, in fact, in 2000, I became the first Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer to have command of the aids to navigation team.
Okay.
And that is after I completed the U.S. Coast Guard Academy Great Lakes Officer Transition School. But the question is how sitting in the chair, what is like now. So since then, since becoming an officer, I had the opportunity to also attend law school.
Okay.
And I was called to the Bahamas Bar. I'm a member of the Bahamas Bar. And so from where I'm sitting now, I get an opportunity to bring my engineering background, my law background, to try and move this organization forward. And I look at the mandate of the organization, which is basically to protect the Bahamas, to protect the territorial integrity of the Bahamas, and to patrol the waters of the Bahamas. And so in order to accomplish this mandate, I look at having a basic 85% fleet utilization. We have to ensure that we keep our patrol craft active so that we can accomplish this mandate. I want to ensure that the organization is properly manned, it is properly trained, and that is the only way and equipped for us to achieve this, to achieve our legislative mandate.
Thank you, sir. So you are about 30 days in office now?
Less than 30 days. We're coming on the 8th of the month. We'll be there.
All right, so it's very popular in Western culture that we have the first 100 days. The U.S. Politics has made that a very popular thing. So this is, for all intents and purposes, your first 100 days in office, and from before accepting the helm to the day of accepting the helm, now 30 days later, 30 out of your first 100, so about 1/3 of your first 100 days. How has the adjustment period been getting back into the swing of being in everyday military life, not being at the bar, and just for all intents and purposes being the naval commander that you're required to be daily?
Well, I consider myself as always being in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, because even when I was the Crown Prosecutor at the Office of the Attorney General, I work in the International Legal Cooperation Unit. And we deal with most of the memorandum of understanding, the technical agreements that had to do with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. And I was intricately involved with that. So I really never looked at myself as really leaving.
Okay. So you spoke about your time as a young IT or electronic technician. You spoke about your time as an aids to navigation radar technician and the aids to navigation officer, and the historic appointment of being the first Defense Force Marine with responsibility, or officer rather, with responsibility for that. You talked about, you having been called to the bar, and now you're telling us about your time in what I would consider advisement or in consultancy for the laying out of various policies. And then the question comes to my mind, which of those resources or strengths do you think will prove most useful, or do you lean on most now as the Commander of the Defense Force in your decision making?
Well, all of them, but I really want to start with technology. All right, so we have transnational threats, and the threats remain the same. We have migrant smuggling. We have unregulated, unreported fishing, poaching by the Dominicans.
Right.
And so these weapons smuggling, these threats remain the same. And so, but what has changed, what has evolved, is the modus operandi.
Yes.
Means of which persons, that is changing how they go about carrying on these illicit trade. If you look at the Haitian migrants, so what our intelligence is telling us, that in the 1980s they used the traditional sailing vessel. So what may be happening today, we're seeing motorized vessels. And they are also using different routes.
Right.
All right. And so my intention is we will continue to use technology to detect what is going on out there. During my the handover ceremony in May, I spoke about our maritime radar system. And so what we intend to do is ensure that we have maritime radar. We have it in Greater Niagara in the south. We're in the process of building out a radar maritime surveillance system in Ragged Island. And we have the threat of smuggling migrants into North America. So we intend to put a maritime radar system in the north.
Okay.
And so what we intend to do is co-locate these radar stations with fast boats.
Okay.
And if you recall, just about 4 or 5 days ago,
You got the
we
interceptors.
commissioned 4 fast boats,
Yes.
4 safe boats.
Yes.
So these safe boats will be co-located with these radar. So once the radar identify these targets, they positively identify the target,
The
then we
interception.
can use the fast boat
For
to
interception.
deploy, intercept, disrupt what's going on out there.
Okay. So well
So
then that.
technology
Okay.
is a big thing. And not only will it be co-located with the fast boat. We're going to have GMDSS, Global Maritime Distress System, that will assist us with search and rescue. That will be at the station as well.
And what is the name of the system? DHGFS?
No, it's GMDSS.
DMVSS.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
that's
Global Maritime Distress System.
Global Maritime Express System. That's a long name. So okay, well, great. So, Commander, I note that at least two of your immediate predecessors, or well, not as immediate, their strategies, their operational strategies, were so clear that many people could verbalize them. I remember during the period of Clifford Scavala, the operational strategy then was simple: operations, 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 and it spoke to battle readiness, it spoke to discipline, it spoke to ensuring that at any given time the force was always ready to deploy. And then, of course, there was the Bow era, and then there was the Bethel era, and then we saw the era of Dr. King, whose approach was a bit less grunty. It was an intelligence-led or intelligence-driven approach, which emphasized, or whose major emphasis were on maritime domain awareness, maritime domain dominance, and then, of course, maritime domain control. Of those two strategies, how exactly do you view those as the commander present, and how are you either adding those to your strategy, taking them completely out of your strategy, or creating a hybrid for your strategy?
Well, Mr. Miller, we intend to build on those strategies. Maritime domain awareness is very important to us because you can't defend what you cannot see.
Yes.
And so by building out these maritime radar surveillance systems, co-locating them with the fast boat, we will be able to control our maritime domain.
Yes.
But we want to go even further.
Okay.
We have to control our maritime domain, and eventually we want maritime domain dominance. And how do we do that? We're going to use a multi-layer approach, all right? So with the technology, we intend to use the maritime radar system. We intend to co-locate them with the fast boat, and we also will be relying on the satellite so that we can have real-time vision or near real-time vision of what is happening on our banks, on our Great Bahama banks, so that we're able to respond with our fast boat and we're able to respond with our offshore patrol boat. So the maritime domain awareness, we want to develop that to the point where a multi-layered approach where we can achieve maritime dominance, maritime domain dominance.
Thank you, sir. You're the very first commander of the Defense Force to have two deputy commanders of the Defense Force. I remember when the concept of deputy commander Defense Force came around, it was an other than ordinary thing. That's what I would call it, right? You remember, of course you do because I remember it, that there was once a time when all there was a commander of the Defense Force and a captain of Coral Harbor. And then in one iteration, I think there was something like a captain of a Coral Harbor and a coach of Coral Harbor. And, you know, there was always conversation about how that worked. But now we see a commander of the Defense Force and then a deputy commander of the Defense Force come into play. And of course, some people had skepticisms about how that would work. But for the first time in history, the commander of the Defense Force is flanked not by one deputy, but by two deputies. And more interestingly, for the first time in the history of the force, this commander of the Defense Force has a deputy that is of a different gender than we normally know deputy commanders of the Defense Force to be. And so the question I have is, how has that structure worked so far? Is it as synergistic as you imagined it would be? And what exactly is your thinking for how that collaboration will work going forward?
Well, it is working. It will work. I think we have to realize that the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is expanding. It is growing in manpower. I think we are up to about 1,800 personnel now. We're looking at decentralizing. And once we move towards decentralization, we get complexity. And so with complexity, Command and Defense Force will basically and definitely need deputies. And going forward, as the force grows, we may even need assistant Command and Defense Forces.
What kind of other cultural changes do you see that might be necessary outside of just the commander of the Defense Force, deputy commander of the Defense Force, and like you just stated, the possibility of assistant commanders of the Defense Force? Do you foresee any other cultural change, maybe in the next year, 2 years, that may allow for greater operational capacity within the force? And let me precursor that by saying this, Commander. People that have joined this organization like it to remain the way we join it. So changes usually swallow difficult for us, right? Because it's a routine organization. But of course, you're taking over at the cusp of the turn of a generation where many of the faces, I mean, I met 20 years ago are no longer there. And so I could only imagine what it must be like for you to be here and have seen even more faces disappear off the scene. With the evolution of the force, do you see cultural changes that are absolutely critical to the mission at hand and what the commander's intent is?
What I would say, Mr. Miller, in terms of culture, and what you may see a change in is our continued ability to adapt, all right? The transnational threats, they are constantly evolving, like I intimated earlier. And the threats of migrant smuggling, drug, weapon smuggling, illegal poaching, illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing, they remain the same. But like I said, the mode of operation has changed. And so to adapt our core values of good military bearing, discipline, honor, respect, devotion to duty, they must remain the same. But our people must adapt to how transnational threats are evolving. And that is the only cultural change that I think the leadership of the Defense Force set.
Thank you very much, sir. And okay, so recruitment and attrition. The force now has an act of parliament that permits service to 60, but we know that young men fight wars. The attrition matter has been one that has been lingering for quite some time. As the commander of the Defense Force, with the recruitment and the attrition goings on being what they are, what strategies are you considering to maintain steady enrollment despite the shrinking youth population and the opportunities overseas that continue to take the Floyd Moxies that would have considered the Defense Force, or that considered the Defense Force rather, in 1980, now seeing those people siphon off to the Canadas and the Americas and the UK?
Okay, so from my point of view, our attrition rate is not a challenge. It's basically a reality. I researched it, and our attrition rate is around, I'd say, 2%. In my humble opinion, that's not bad. But so, what we are focusing on, we will focus our attention on directed recruitment. I don't know if you was in the force at a time when we did direct entry.
That was before my time.
With a particular skill set that we needed at the time.
Right.
And we went out and recruited those individuals.
Right.
In fact, I am a product of direct entry.
Right.
And I was recruited from the College of the Bahamas. I came in as a direct entry based on the skill set that I had, even though limited, Commodore of the College of the Bahamas at the time.
Right.
And so we want to focus back on to take a look at this organization. We will see where there's a deficient in certain skill set, and we intend to go out and recruit those individuals. And you would recall that about a year ago, we recruited persons into our reserve. We recruited a lawyer, we recruited a doctor. So the persons and the skill sets that we need, we are going to do focused recruitment, and we are going to put our energy on recruiting those specialists. And so our BDF, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, I like to look at it as a way of life. It is not a job. And there are some individuals who do not accept this doctrine that it is a way of life, and so they're the individual who will be separated from time to time and contribute to this attrition rate. But if you buy into the concept that it is the way of life, then it is a great career.
Commander, that is my jingle. That means the half-hour mark is up. I don't know. I've got some more questions, but I know you have a very busy schedule. We'll talk about it on the break, and if you're able to stay with us, then hopefully you can. But if you're not, then let me say thank you for coming thus far. I'm going to the break, and then we'll chat on the next side.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to Freedom March. I'm so happy to announce that the commander of the Defense Force has decided to stay with us for a short while longer. Is he still on the line with us, Camp?
Good afternoon once again, Mr. Miller. I'm here.
Commander, thank you so much for staying with us through the break. So we've got a few more questions. We'll try to get them out as quickly as possible. Do you anticipate the flexibility in the new budget? I see that there's an announcement today that there is a pay increase being proposed. The language middle management, though, the flexibility in the budget obviously allows for pay increase, but now there's the caveat of middle management. How does that affect your force?
The caveat of middle management?
Yeah, so the question was, will the flexibility in the budget possibly lead to increases in pay? Well, I don't need to ask you that question because the Prime Minister has announced that there will be pay increases this month's end. And so, but I note that he says that it'll be for people at middle management, and I just wondered, does that affect your organization the same way?
Well, and if it does, I didn't have the opportunity to read the full budget in its entirety, but it would affect morale. It definitely would.
Okay, so let me get then to this question. I know that there are persons in training now based on my intel, and I think the number is hovering somewhere between 115 and 120. I'm understanding.
Yep.
When I joined 23 years ago, there were 40 of us, and that was tight. Do you think that firstly, does that pose any concern for you as the commander? Do you think that Coral Harbor has reached her bandwidth as far as being capable of sufficiently housing the Maritime Training Institute? And are you considering possibly expanding, being a family island boy, possibly expanding training and its full faculty and operations into a community like Inagua or Andres, which may trigger, scenarios that are considered military-based communities like the ones in Fort Leonard Wood, for example, where the entire population around the base exists to take care of the base. And so as a man with very deep family island ties from Mangrove Key, nonetheless, I just wondered, it sounds like a perfect match. It sounds like a perfect undertaking for a new commander with that kind of an attachment to small communities and a swelling recruitment drive portfolio going on. Any thought given to that kind of stuff yet, Commander?
Yeah, okay, so first of all, we had 114 recruits join on Saturday past.
Yes, sir.
We intend to bring that number up to 150 recruits.
Okay.
Now, I know that you said that when you joined, there were 40 to 50 points in your entry.
Right, and
my entry, I think we had about 30 to 40.
Yeah.
And so I think you are speaking about the challenges. How do you train 150 points? But so what we did, at this stage in the Defense Force career, we have experienced Force Chief Petty officers.
Okay.
And if you recall, in the last advancement exercise, we had a number of Force Chiefs. And so these Force Chiefs are now assigned to training, and they would be able to properly train these new recruits.
Okay.
Even though the numbers may be large, I think we made preparation for that. The training staff, they are well able to do that. They're well equipped to do that.
What about the infrastructure? You know, I remember there were days that we took showers at the outside, at the pool side. What about the capacity?
Yeah, we have the capacity. Prior to that entry going in, we spent a lot of money renovating the Marine barrack.
Okay.
And so that is completed now.
Okay.
And we also have the Maritime barrack that is in the, I know you referred to as the old hotel.
Yeah, the old hotel.
Yeah, we have a Maritime barrack there.
Okay.
So they are sufficiently housed. I'm satisfied that they are sufficiently housed.
So no plans in the commander's intent to start a little military community somewhere?
Yes, okay, so I want to speak to that. There's a place in Coral Harbor that is called Coral Key. You may be you may know of Coral Key.
I do.
Yes, and so we intend to turn that into a recruit training command.
Okay.
Sometime in the future, we're developing the plans now, and so hopefully we can move all of our recruiting train all of our recruit training from the base and move them to Coral Sea, hopefully in the not too distant future. We're working on the plans as to how the barracks should be laid out, and then we would make that presentation to the relevant authority.
I heard you talk about direct entries. I had another direct entry on the show with me earlier this week in the person of Captain Glenn Bain. Of course, you know, he spent quite a bit of time with the Bahamas Maritime Authority and has spent a lot of time as an international seafarer, an international captain. And the question often comes up about international certifications. Are you making current or future plans as the commander of the Defense Force to align your organization with the kind of certifications, I guess, that are a bit more international? And the reason I'm asking that question, Commander, is I note that there is a direction in the budget that is now going to finance things like maritime training. And so I just wondered how in the mind of the commander, where is international certification and ratings?
Yeah, so the Bahamas Military and Maritime Academy, that will take care of that. And so they will provide accredited course in leadership, engineering, navigation, and these courses will be up to the bachelor's level. And they will provide the training and the skill set that we need to move this Royal Bahamas Defense Force forward.
Okay.
And but not only that, we are partnering with partners, U.S. NORDCOM.
Okay.
And we have what we call the bilateral security and cooperation framework. And so they are assisting us with training and equipment to help us become accredited in the areas of leadership, navigation, and they assisting us with disaster management and that type of operations.
All right. So you spoke about the advancement of the force chiefs who will largely be overseeing, participating in, passing on institutional knowledge to the recruit base now, which I think is a brilliant idea. With the organization continues to evolve. So the last force chief promotion was other than ordinary for many of us, right? But of course, the commander has his intention, and from what I'm understanding, you intend to use those force chiefs because that is where the intellectual capital of the organization rests. It rests on the shoulders of the force chief, and you want them to pour back into the next generation. I get that. But with the size of those promotions that we saw, over the last 7 years maybe, are there still critical roles that require or that have vacancies based on what it is your intention is? Or do you have some sort of specific promotion style to address specific gaps where you find them? Or how exactly are you intending to tie promotions to skill gap deficiencies during your tenure?
Well, what I would say, those promotions, to a large extent, they were designed to address decentralization.
Okay.
So we want to mirror what we have at the Coral Harbor base with what is going on in Matthew Town, in Napa, what is going on in Gunpoint, Rocket Island, what is going on in Grand Bahama, what is going on in the Bimini's. So you will have a captain of those bases, someone at the captain rank. You will have your master who's a force chief. You may even have a command warrant because you expect these bases to mirror what is basically going on in Coral Harbor. And so I spoke about technology. They are going to be small boat stations. And so we need the skill set in repairing these craft.
Right.
We will need the skill set in maintaining the aircraft. We deploy the aircraft in the southern Bahamas. We will need skill set for the persons who operate the craft, small boat cocks, command officers. And so if we need person with skill set to fill these roles, then promotion will demand that is what is to happen.
So I'm happy that you talked about your assets in that way, Commander, because I think one of my final questions before I give you an opportunity to your wrap-up is there's a lot of talk about the drone technology that has been added prior to your getting here. There's a lot of talk about what the role of that technology would be in large part in the force's operation, again, prior to your getting here. But the force saw hard lessons during the tenure or the period that is known as the Hurricane Dorian period. There were massive lessons to be learned there. As you expand your technology, are you considering maybe the evolution of hardware expansion as well? I mean, are we going to see things like helicopter training and maybe the working of partnerships to either acquire helicopter capability or to at least have helicopter availability added to the force's ability? Are we looking at things like how or what do we do to adjust how we responded post-Dorian? Where is Dorian as a reality scenario in the mind of the commander with regards to how he deploys his assets, how he trains his men, how he onboards new assets, and then of course new capabilities and new training opportunities with something like a Dorian as a real life tabletop scenario?
Well, first of all, you mentioned drone. And so in a week or so, we are going to commission our drone academy.
Okay.
And so we intend to deploy our long-range drone to the southern Bahamas,
Okay.
which will give us coverage of the banks, and also will assist us in detecting migrant vessels. And so we feel that will assist us a lot. That will be co-located with the maritime radar surveillance system, the safe boat, and the offshore patrol boat.
Okay.
So with the drone and with the satellite coverage of the bank, that will definitely give us the maritime domain dominance that we are seeking to achieve. And in the aftermath of the hurricane, with the drone academy training our pilots, we would have the ability to go out there, determine the area that was voiced. I would say that we need to pay attention to so that we can deploy. We also helicopter. You asked about helicopter. There's no immediate plans for helicopter, but it is something that we would be addressing. Just last week, we had a conclave for our executive leadership team, and these are the issues that we have ventilated, and these are the issues that we will be discussing going forward.
Right, because I do recall after Dorian, there was a difficulty getting into some places simply because while we have fixed wings, there's certain places they couldn't get. While we have ship assets, because of some of the damage in the docks, etc., it just posed different scenarios. Of course, like you said, it's an adapting force, so they adapted the scenario. But when people are waiting on search and rescue effort, emergency evacuation effort, etc., these are just the things that come to our mind with regards to that. So you talked about the drone academy. You talked about how you're expanding that and the long-range drone and the co-location and the new safe boats and of course the shore patrol boats. Are the training initiatives that will be associated with things like the technology of drone technology, whenever it comes on stream, the possibility of helicopter piloting, etc. Are these the initiatives in the intention of the commander that you believe will make the force attractive to the next generation?
Yeah, definitely, because we intend that drone academy to become a center of excellence,
Okay.
not only for the Bahamas but for the region. A few months ago, the drone team, the academy team, partnered with the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime to do a training not only for our pilots, but for pilots from Jamaica, Guyana, and a few other countries.
I appreciate that. So is it fair to say, final question, is it fair to say then that under Commodore Floyd Moxey, we are still focused on maritime domain awareness, maritime domain control, and maritime domain dominance?
Definitely. And at the end of my tenure, I hope that we have achieved that maritime domain dominance, or we are so close to it that the next Commander Defense Force will have an easy job at achieving it.
Thank you very much, Commodore Floyd Moxey. Thank you so much for being with us here on Freedom March, sir. You get to have the final words and the wrap-up, and any other thing that you'd like to get out before you leave.
No, I just want to say that I am blessed to have a team of competent, experienced executives on this leadership team. We have the first female, Captain Natasha Miller, who has a wealth of experience, both ashore and afloat, and she has experience in administration, in financing, and that is what we are going to lean on. We have Captain Colin Battle, who have a wealth of experience in operation, and that will assist us greatly. And we have the other members of the team who are well experienced. I have a staff officer, legal affairs, Captain Adley, who is a counsel and attorney at law. I have Captain Daxton, who is the executive staff officer. He has a wealth of institution knowledge, not only in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, but in public service. And we have Captain Sonia Miller, who have a wealth of knowledge in disaster management, and she is now the captain of Coral Harbor. We have Captain Brown, who's the commanding officer of operations, who's basically spent his whole career at sea. And we have Captain Mark Fee, who is the command staff officer. So I am blessed to have a great team to assist me and to assure me.
Well, Commander, let me take this opportunity to publicly assure you of my full support and to say to you that you have my full effort, and in any regard or in any fashion that I can lend my hand or my might to the Commander's intent, please just advise me on how I can do so, and I guarantee, as long as it is also the Lord's will, Commander, you have my full support and confidence.
Thank you, and that means a lot to me. I'm quite sure that means a lot to the members of this great Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, and so there you have it. In his first live interview, Commodore Floyd Moxey, the commander of the Defense Force, be giving out things. So I got ask you all some random questions about what the commander of the Defense Force has said about, what are some of the initiatives he's putting into place? What exactly is the focus that he's building on? What exactly is the recruitment number going to be? These kinds of things. So when we open up the line, you can feel free to see if you could win these tickets to the Battle of the Bonds. Is that what this is, Spiritual Advisor? And we're giving them away. All right? We go into the live remote now. All right. So we'll wait until we get Joe Cools on the line. It's Joe Cools we're waiting on, right? Is he there?
Yep.
Hey,
Good afternoon.
yeah.
Good afternoon. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Miller. Good afternoon, Mr. Rule. Hey, we doing it live, just like you said. We are live broadcasting, 103.5 The Beat. Yes, sirree, as we get for this beautiful holiday. Well, I wouldn't say holiday, but these couple days off, every couple days off, as I can say it as a holiday, all right. And you definitely want to start it and end it right here. Carnival is where I'm hanging out right now, and we just putting the vibes in there right now, right? I'm about to set the moment right now. Imagine being over at Paradise Island. Imagine this lovely decor. Imagine these boats, them to the left, boat stem to the right, boat stem all over the place, and you're looking at the beautiful waters of the 242. That's exactly where you want to have yourself a happy hour, right? And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm having myself a happy couple minutes, and it's going to turn into a couple hours. Why? Because the environment here is oh so sweet and relaxing, all right? And you know for sure, the reason I'm here is to also let you know that they got a great weekend lined up. I give you the rundown and the routine in a little second or two still, all right? But once again, I encourage you just to do that little thing. Pay the little $2, get over the bridge. If you're already over the bridge, then meet me at Carnival, all right? It's the old Green Pirates. You can't miss it. If you come from, like, the back of the police station, wait, wham, they got their own little parking lot, valet parking, all type of good stuff. So trust me when I say it. We got a good look. We got a good little look going on right here, right now, right? Anything that you desire, they have it at the bar. And let me mention the food. The food is off the chain, all right? I had the fish tacos the last time, and then before that, I had like the snapper and all that. Wait, let me tell you something. They got like the Spanish infused with the Bahamian, infused with just tasting good. And if you ain't never tasted good before, Carnival is where you definitely want to come on down and hang out until 7 p.m. That's how long I'll be here, broadcasting live. Yours truly, Joe Coors. Like I said, just trying to get my palate wet right now. This is the first drink, but the longer this go on, it's going to get happier and happier and happier. Come on down. Come join me. You buy the next two, I'll buy the first one. Sound like a good deal? Yours truly, Joe Coors, broadcasting live, Carnival, Bahamas, over the bridge, PI.
I have to figure out a way to become leader of the people them with boat. That way, when the Jokos go down there with the people them with boat the next time, they have to invite me because I will be their leader. And I like when I'm, leader of the woman them, leader of the FNA them. Who else am I leader of? So people them with boat, make me a leader. And then that way I could join Joe Coors when he go down there with the people them with boat. Spiritual advisor?
Indeed.
Yeah. You want to open the phone lines?
We can do that. 323.
Yeah. You want to give birthday shout out first or you want to open the phone line first? Let's do the birthday shout out
What
down.
time is it? Oh.
What you want to do?
Oh, my phone is my
Oh boy, I tell you, my spiritual. 323-777-5, or 698-0776. You with us?
Let's do the birthday shout-outs before we hit the break quickly.
Okay.
Producer, you sent? Okay, here we go. We want to send a happy birthday shout-out to Kendrick Austin from his mother, Marsha, and all of his relatives. Enjoy a special day, and may God bless you with many more wonderful birthdays. Judith Mills. Judith Mills is celebrating 51 years. Happy birthday to Judith Mills and her daughter, coming from her daughter, Cadell and Elantra Parker. Also, Ladero Carey is celebrating the birthday today, coming from your family in Tarpon Bay. Happy birthday to Ladero Carey. Tonight is karaoke night. Please don't forget, tonight and every Wednesday, exclusive music night party. It's Fire Trail Plaza West. So tonight is happy pre-holiday hump day. Don't forget, it's your girl Mo and the Swag family inviting you to get and have a good time. Wednesday, time for another night of great drinks, food, fun. You know the vibes. Head on down to the spot. It's all about Swag, restaurant and bar. Carry your own key. Bring special, $1, short specials, $3. And even some giveaways. So come solo or bring a friend. Just make sure I see you tonight. Karaoke night, Just Mo Sounds by DJ Stutter. It starts at 8 p.m. every Wednesday. Exclusive music night party. It's food, drinks party, and free entry sponsored by exclusive night party, Fire Trail West, Fire Trail Plaza West. Don't forget to call us 605-2125 or 816-4833. That's 816-4833.
All right, thank you very much, spiritual advisor. You hear the jingle, we go on to the break. I ain't letting this show end unless I curse Alfred says for listening to the Chinese. So when we get back, I got 2 minutes to curse Alfred says for going all the way to China for them to tell him but coconut. And then, the phone lines are open. We'll be back. Thank you for staying with us through the break. Again, I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 FM The Beat or 224-112 Cable Flow or on ILTV Studios. We spoke with the Commander of the Defense Force, Floyd Moxey, who I thought gave a wonderful set of notes about what is exactly the commander's intent. And I can tell you that I was there when he handed over or took over from Dr. King. But the one thing that stood out to me, just before the handover ceremony, I think I was there the Saturday prior, and the one thing that stood out to me was that on the exchange of command, not only were there two commanders dressed as military commanders, which I thought was very, very, very useful for the morale of the force, but Dr. King, Commodore Defense Force retired, handed over to Floyd Moxey, Commander of the Defense Force, the force with the torch still lit. And so there you see the monument that is the Flamingos Monument. I thought it was so wonderful to finally see the torch lit. I remember when Commodore Scavalla built this monument, he thought in his wisdom that at the top of the monument there should be the never-ending flame, spiritual advisor, that's what it's called. And so atop the monument there is a flame that burns forever and ever, that tells of the tales of sailors old. It is a flame that burns forevermore, a flame that never goes old. And so I thought that was such a meaningful sign of symbolism, you know, and I thought that that itself would offer some good morale value to the force. And while I was in Eleuthera on the weekend attending Stone Oak's event, here's what else I did. I visited the proposed monument, and this is the one thing I didn't get to talk to the commander about. So Commander, if you're listening to me, I've been to see Cladwell Farrington's monument that he's building in honor of the Flamingo in Atchett Bay, Eleuthera. And while down there in Atchett Bay, Eleuthera, I took a picture on the side of the sign in support and solidarity with my beloved Cladwell Farrington, who is a survivor of the HMBS Flamingo. And Commander, I hope that at some point we're able to nationalize these monuments so that wherever you are in this Commonwealth, you are aware that there was a day where men gave, where some of the men, or all of the men gave some rather, but some of the men gave all in service to this country. And so those are some of the wonderful things that will happen. Now take me to the 2 minutes of Alfred Sayers' Kaiser note. Alfred Sayers said this after he visited the coconut thing in China the other day. And I've been saying for God knows how long, let's nationalize coconuts, right? I don't know the Chinese way to say it, but when I listen, the only thing it sounded like to me is coconut. And all of a sudden, he thought it was brilliant. When I've been saying the whole time, let's nationalize the coconut tree. So let's hear from Alfred Sayers and then we'll open up the phone.
The coconut is part of our culture. It is part of our food culture. We make craft, and of course we make some fantastic tropical drinks with the coconut. And with the innovation and technology that we see here, that is, which have been developed at the Coconut Research Institute, it is a perfect partnership. What we see here and what this partnership can give us is an opportunity to limit the number of import. And that money from import substitution could be applied for education, for health, and for other development needs. With respect to the importance of sovereignty, non-interference, and the independence of member countries of the United Nations, but especially in this area of development, to have a shared development through cooperation, not only bilaterally, but also multilaterally.
And while I can't really translate into English what that was Alfred Sayers said, I don't know when they decide, Jomo, the coconut them in the Bahamas dying of old age. I've been to Eleuthera, all the coconut trees there was full of a coconut. I live South Beach. You see this? This is a coconut tree right outside my corner, full up of coconut. The coconut them dying of old age. No one picking these, no one using these, no one even trimming the limbs from the tree. All you have to do, Jomo, if you could hear me, is let's pick the coconut and nationalize them and pay people monthly increments for having coconut bearing trees. And that way I don't have to one shoot Pookie with my, what kind of gun I got? I got one gun where I hunt quail with. That's what they tell me right on the application form. So I have a quail hunting gun. And if Pookie go to climbing my coconut tree, I might mistake him for a quail. And next thing you know, y'all gonna lock me up because y'all gonna say, Pookie ain't no quail. And he did look like a quail to me when he was up there. Because I don't know how else you could get up there except use a quail. But if the government just decide that they want to let all Bahamians with an active coconut tree register in our national coconut program, and you want to pay me $40 a month for my tree because I understand that $40 is the going rate around here, I would happily let you pick all the coconut off my tree for $40 a month, and then you could put that on things like my inland revenue. You see, that's why I don't listen to Tingham them when they talk foolishness but sovereign welfare fund, right? Because they want me to go get a ragonite. Negroes can't spell a ragonite. But these, put the coconut them would back up with dying from old age. But the coconut them dying of old age. Oh, but these ain't natural resources. We can't figure out how to go get these coconut with only 20 foot in the air. But we must go into God Ocean.
Okay, so where's this tree?
Right on my corner.
Which corner are you on?
You no.
So I can tell you, once you give me the corner, they'll be gone.
I have a quail hunting gun. That's what they make me lie on the form and say when I apply for mine. It is for quail hunting. And if you look like a quail to me, my brother, all I can do is show you my quail hunting gun.
Because contrary to what you're saying, these coconuts are being used by the young men.
That's what I want y'all to do. They don't do
all over Gladstone Road and Seabreeze. You see these fellas.
They can't pick them
you
fast
get coconut
enough.
water.
And you know what's so funny? Because y'all will nationalize the public transportation system with big grown man who then invest $250,000 inside these pieces of equipment, rather than y'all turn around and hire Pookie them. Pookie ain't have no investment in the coconut tree. Since y'all won't make someone an employee so bad, hire Pookie. He could be the official national coconut picking Negro. Anyway, I think that's what Alfred says. Open up the phone line now. But Alfred going all the way to China. The only thing different the Chinese say from me is Hantong Wang Chong, Wang Ha, coconut. And all of a sudden, Alfred come back on the TV with bilateral, multilateral, lateral, all kind of foolishness. Like only me one can see these coconut die in old age. Ah, boy. Open the line.
323-7775. Before we open the lines, congratulations to Bentley.
You can make these people case us?
The son of Camille.
These people case us?
No, they'll case you voice.
Oh, boy.
Bentley.
We have you all on hold here.
Bentley, congratulations to you for graduating from St. Francis Joseph School today.
Okay.
Coming from your mom, Camille, and family, okay? All of that.
Yay, Bentley? Yay, Bentley.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call your live. 323-7775. Are you there, caller?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, spiritual advisor. Hi, Leland.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Man, you call my name so perfect. You must be from Acklands.
No, Inagua.
Same thing. That's the same thing. It's only 18 people down in the corridor anyhow. You always practice calling names like Theophilus, Levan, Roland, Nolan, Pelan, Leviticus. You know, that's what them people down there's name they sure it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this make you look in the eye of a newborn baby and name the baby Spurgeon?
I don't know either.
Oh boy, Acklands people. What can we do for you today, my dear?
You were saying to call in, asking a question about what.
What is the name of the commander of the Defense Force?
Moxie, I know for sure.
What Moxie? Imam ain't name him just Moxie. How you know he ain't Elon Moxie? Which Moxie?
Is it Alfred?
Oh Lord, let me help you out. Okay, where they recruit him from?
Mango 3, right?
Oh boy, I really helping you. Well, that's he born. But he say Davy Roll and Commander who? Recruit him, Darby, recruit him from somewhere. Where was he when he saw the recruitment drive?
I didn't catch that part.
Oh boy. His first name start with F. I'm gonna give you one of these tickets so bad. His first name start with F.
Frederick.
Oh boy, Caller, you have to call us back. You have to call us back. And you sound so wonderful, and you call my name, so you know what?
That's why I should get it, because I call your name.
You see how women go?
And
You see how women go? I try to
FNA.
give you. Are you an FNA?
Yes, I am.
Are you a proud member of the FNA?
Yes, I
Oh,
am.
well, just take her number. She don't need to know nothing else.
I could tell you one thing, ma'am. You won't see that on the ticket box.
You don't listen to him.
It's not going to be on the ticket ballot, okay?
I'm
when time to
producer,
vote.
you take this decent woman number and you make sure. My FNA sister.
Yes, sir.
We are FNAs and we don't play.
We don't play.
It's not going to be on the ballot, eh?
Make sure I play that jingle, Levan, so I can hear it before you land.
Very good, no problem.
Being led
Thank you.
You see that?
Being led astray.
I mean, every day the FNA games gain steam. So we sound like we got some pretty FNAs and all. You see that? We got light-skinned FNAs, white FNAs, Joy Pender. I hear you can't run for the PLP no more. Cheapest you come with the FNA, my brother. Because don't worry about Cherokee Sound. That's only one corner. We can live without that. Let's go to another phone call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. Don't listen to the radio. Listen to me.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
His name is Floyd. Floyd Captain Fox.
Hold on. You're overheating. Don't go fast.
Commodore. Floyd Moxie.
That is his name. You hold the phone line and you just win yourself a ticket to the Battle of the Band.
Cut it down, Johnny.
Don't listen to the radio. Listen to me. Producer, put on hold. Take a number. Floyd Moxie is his name. 32377.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, and he was recruited from the Court of Bahamas.
You didn't win one ticket. You trying to win two tickets.
Okay. You need to get my number, right?
You hold the line. The producer can get your number right now. 323-7775-698-0775. I tell you, I learned this from Craig Murphy. Craig Murphy just have church. Every time you show up to Craig Murphy church, Craig just give out car, Craig give out money. And you just TV. You can just win things when you go to Craig church, right? So I say, you know something? On Freedom March, we just giving out something. I don't care what it is. Spiritual advisor, give me some money in your pocket so I can give it to the people.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Don't forget now, I get paid weekly, very weekly.
Wow. Wow. So, fans, you listening? I hope you hear him.
I get paid weekly.
Yeah.
Very.
I know one thing. Every time you talk about Soft Hands and how she look on this TV, that look like maintenance, my brother.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
You're a very slick spiritual advisor. I watching you.
You're live, caller. Go ahead.
Caller, you there?
Me?
Yes, you. What you mean?
Not me. You.
You could hear me?
Hello?
Hi.
Sean Wright.
Who? What the Commodore name? The voice in the background say,
Hello?
Hi.
You hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Tina Gay White.
Who?
Tina Gay White.
Who's that?
Hold on. You ain't win nothing yet.
I don't want to win.
What you want?
I answered about Commodore Floyd Moxie.
Commodore, that's his name. Yeah, but we already get the answer, so you have to let me ask you another question now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the Commodore said that something was very instrumental to his overarching goal. What are the three things? You have to listen to me. What are the three things he says he intends to use in the north, in the south, and in the central Bahamas? There's three things he's putting together, and he's using them collectively.
Three things that he's using.
Oh boy. Let me give you an easier one. How much deputies the Commodore got?
How much deputies the Commodore got?
Yes.
2.
Oh, okay. Now, what's so special about one of them?
What's special about them?
Oh boy. 2 is the right answer. You hold the line. What's your name? Tasha Gay. You hold the line. Producer, the answer is 2. And well, of course, I have to give this. I have to give this away. But this one. Now, I do it a little different. Usually, I give these 2 a time to a fellow who got a decent pair of soft hands, right? But let me tell you what I can do for you today, right? I won't send you to this because let me tell you this. Let me tell you what I do with these. Soft hands be piled up to these. All right? So if you're looking for one decent pair of soft hands, and the soft hands who could be to this, they have salary. Prison woman, police woman, defense force woman. That's who could be to this. So, beloved, if you're looking for one suitable pair of soft hands, you just call me, be a man under 40, and then tell me who does cut my hair every week and what day I just do it. Because I won't send you to the land of milk and honey, my friend. A land where you will never grow old. 323-777-569-80775. And you gotta be under 40. I like to give things away to fellas 40 and younger, because life hard for us. We ain't like these fellas who live in the 70s when you could buy a bag of grocery for $50 and care at the tree house, and the woman take care of each of the children that ain't they own. We ain't grow up in that kind of Bahamas spiritual advisor them was there. And they destroy it. Now look at us. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. What happened? You phone on a minute. Hello, caller. Well, hello. This ain't a man. This is a woman. Hello.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the radio. Listen to me.
Yes. When are they going to get rid of you, Mr. Miller?
As soon as they get rid of you. Ha! Hang up on her. See that? You see how I get rid of you? Dun, 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 dun. And for my next trick. That's what. Bet you didn't know I could do that. Next call, 323-777-569-80775. Hello, caller.
Mr. Miller.
I got more magic left now. You need magic too?
Oh, Lord.
Caller, you there?
Yes, I there.
Yay, you under 40? You don't sound under 40. You sound very over 40 to me. Don't listen to the radio. Listen to me.
Mr. Miller.
Hey.
Listen. Mr. Miller.
Jesus wept.
Johnny 1185.
Hi.
You know, Craig Murphy used to like to hang to Key West Street in the 80s?
Say it one more time.
I listening to you.
Stop listening to the radio. Listen to me on the phone.
Key West Street?
Oh boy.
Key West Street by Roll Bar.
What happened to Key West Street in the 80s?
That's where Craig Murphy started from.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
That's where Craig Murphy hang out from in Outlaw.
Yeah, and he used to be in the casino as a bussy or something like that.
And that's before I become a preacher.
Now he's a preacher.
Before I become a preacher.
Correct.
I was my personal friend.
All right. Well, tell your personal friend Craig Murphy hello then.
Outlaw T.O. Bow.
Okay, Outlaw.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, Outlaw.
Okay then.
Let's hang up with Outlaw. I'm trying to get. Okay, Outlaw. We can talk to you later. 323-7775. If you're under 40, I will send you to the land where we will never grow old, my friend. The land of milk and honey. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I coming to win the tickets, man. I used to go to Island Connect on Wednesday.
You sure about that?
I hope so.
How sure you sure?
Sure and sure.
All right. Well, I know one thing. I hear soft hands in the background, so you better don't play crazy. You better tear the stick up.
Ain't nothing wrong with two sets of soft hands.
You sound like a man after God's own heart.
I asked the spiritual advisor about me.
Yeah? David had more than one pair of soft hands, and God did love him, boy. Jesus wept.
Thank the Lord he loved me as well.
Listen, I could listen to you and hear sameness in your voice. Anyway, hold the phone line. They'll get your number and your name, all right?
All
right, good stuff. So, S.A., I curse what Alfred says, because I don't know why he needs to listen to the Chinese tell him but coconut. What else we do today? We talked to Commodore, Commander of the Defense Force, Floyd Moxie. What else we did today? I show you the coconut tree. Don't come look. Listen.
Man, listen. Where's this coconut tree, man?
Would you like to also see where my quail hunting gun is?
No,
Because that's the lie they make me tell on the application form.
It's only coconuts. You can't do that, okay?
I can't shoot quail? Oh, you can't believe how good I can shoot quail.
Yeah.
And if I open my door and all I see is quail, I might lose it. So, beloved, don't fool with them coconut. You just let my coconut die of old age in peace. I want Jomo to come get them from me and nationalize them and put them in a little jug and put product of the Bahamas on it, and then that way he could tell people that we are doing everything that we can to expand the product. We understand that there is a need for more, and with this progressive liberal party, with me as their Minister of Agriculture, the Bahamian people will get more because more is what they deserve. Huh?
Indeed.
Yeah, we're not doing it because we're perfect. We are doing it because it is what we promise. Food security. See that, Jomo? I didn't give you the line and all for when you pick the coconut them. 323-7775. Let's take another phone call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Man.
Hey.
What's happening, man?
Boy, I feel good. If something happening to me, I ain't know it yet.
A spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir.
You need to encourage Levon to let him know old men need love too. He always talking with his 40 and under. These young boys ain't know how to treat these soft hands, man.
Oh, boy.
Do something for the 60 and older sometime too, man.
Oh boy, but oh Lord.
But listen,
I don't want you outside tonight with these young girls catching draft.
And single and widowers and stuff, man.
But I don't want you outside catching draft, then you can blame me for pneumonia, right?
Yeah,
that's all right. You put our thumb on my head. But my thumb in my pocket when I get draft, I put it on my head.
Caller.
Hey.
You got to recognize when your season is over, you know.
Boy, listen, but if you think your season over, that's between you and your season. My one ain't over yet.
Get ready for heaven, eh?
It's spring. Right, I'm ready. Heaven is my own.
You ready for heaven?
What?
Well, how come I don't see you meeting with the Church of Christ on Sunday morning?
Man, every church is a Church of Christ.
Oh, see, now that's the problem.
Any
right
church I go to is a Church of Christ.
That's not true. That's not true. Don't
so
believe
only
that.
the people in your church get
Don't believe that. Don't believe that. Don't believe every church is Jesus' church. That ain't true.
But what I'm saying, so only the people who go to your church can't have one.
That's why I keep telling you have to call me.
Wow.
So we could talk. You need to get on the straight road because you know what I mean.
Caller, I even didn't know where spiritual advisor church is. That's on
we meet in Harry Park. We meet in Harry Park.
I know your church is.
Yeah, we meet in Harry Park just so Road.
Well, you all bring me one pamphlet.
Me and Rodney being in there one time sitting down with the police, you know.
Yeah?
Bring me a pamphlet. I want to see what the heaven package is so I can know how much I ought to
But listen to me, though. Levon, I'll do something next week for the 60 and older.
Week after next. I got something else for young fellas next week, but week after next.
No, Lord. What y'all do is, y'all got to remember y'all elders, you know. Remember y'all
fellas who 60 and older, right? I want to say this, and this is an actual serious position of mine. I say it here now publicly. You all fellas who 60 and had all the wonderful things life could offer. The fella tell me the other day, he's 64. He said he remember when he had his second child. He just take the baby home, give it to your wife and say, listen, this boy live here now, eh? And the wife say, oh, okay. I never had that.
But listen, now let me go because I can leave this with spiritual advisor because this is constituency. All of a sudden now, Leroy Major could see the water in Sun Shores now. You can see that 4 years ago.
We talking about Leroy Major tomorrow because I don't know. I ain't sure if I believe this little press release.
He said the water there now. After 4 years, he just seen the water.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden now the government trying to fix Pinewood Garden after 4 years.
But I can tell you, they fixed Pinewood a couple of times. But people know that's Pinewood. But I can tell you one good thing. You ever behave rude, and when you reach home, you know your mother can beat you?
Yeah.
But Leroy Major behave rude. He know he ain't get no more nomination.
Yeah, well, I know. You can't let AI write your letter. Thank you very much, caller. That sounds like AI to me when I read it. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you there? Nope, next one. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello, good afternoon. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Spiritual advisor, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
I noticed your sidekick gone, and I miss him so badly.
Yeah, me too, to be honest.
But I was happy to see you laugh a while ago. Spiritual advisor, you don't laugh like that since your sidekick gone. So I hope you still have it in you.
Yeah, time. Give me some time.
Yes, I can give you some time because I need time too to get used to your sidekick.
Yes,
so
yes. Changes.
We all need some time. So you have a good evening, though.
You too now. You take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. 323-7775. We got 30 seconds, eh? Welcome to Freedom March, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Mr. Miller, you think you're going to win this election?
If I think I go in the election, you mean with the FNA?
No way in hell. Because you don't even make sense on TV.
You play my jingle. Hang up on her too. See this? Dun, 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 dun. And just like that, you no longer exist on the phone call. You play my jingle.
Cause we don't play. Come go this way and vote for the FNA.
Thank you so much for staying with us. See that? Magic. Foolishness on the phone. Boom! No more foolishness on the phone. Just like that. It's magic, I tell you. Anyway, that's the jingle.
So no way in hell.
The spiritual advising. We get a pray for. That's the jingle. Thank you so much for tuning in to us.
Tomorrow.